Hey, Ebony, girl, what a weekend. I felt like I was watching reality TV every time I turned on C-SPAN, MSNBC, anything showing government-related things to this speaker situation, but we finally have one, so there's that.
Reality at its finest, our American reality. And yes, you are right, we have a speaker. 5 days, 15 votes, mounting opposition from these 20 ultra-right Republicans, now called the Freedom Caucus, over a dozen concessions and a near showdown. A fight almost broke out. And then you got Matt Gaetz resisting. But we have a House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, who in his speech, he said, this should show you that I don't give up. So we'll see what happens after this. But yes, we do finally have a Speaker of the House.
Yeah. But with all the drama that went down, do you think we'll be able to get anything done?
So that's the biggest question, and that's what remains to be seen. The test starts tonight when the House takes up the rules package. Now, this is deciding how they will be governed. Many of the concessions that he agreed to acquire this seat will be in this package. And not that I quote Matt Gaetz very often, but he said it's almost like he's going to have to serve with the straitjacket on. So we'll see. One in particular that could cause a lot of drama is the motion to vacate, which means just one person could stand up and call for a vote and say, let's wrap. We don't want them. That's the motion to vacate. Move to the left, right? And so it used to be 5. Another concession was that there are now 3 members of this ultra-right Freedom Caucus that will serve on the committee. This Rules Committee is powerful and determines which bills will actually make it to the floor. We're going to see the unbundling of some spending bills. One area we know that they're gunning for is decreasing the military spending. And right now we've got a war going on. We've got a lot going on. And so what will happen there? Defense bills. Also, they have one of the concessions is more time for review. It's a 72-hour review period that gives the House members more time to review bills before they reach the floor. There could be cuts to some important programs that could really affect, especially African-American communities. Social programs we could even be seeing cut. So there's a lot of mix-up that's going in. One thing McCarthy doubled down on and said, and we knew before, is that they're going to be launching these investigations into the withdrawal of Afghanistan, to the origins of COVID, and also creating a judiciary subcommittee that's going to focus on what he's calling the weaponization of federal government. And this is regarding the investigation of the FBI into Donald Trump, into Mar-a-Lago. And so, of course, they're trying to deconstruct all of that. They're going to, of course, have hearings on the southern border, immigration, and you know they're coming for President Biden and investigating Hunter Biden. They've been saying that. So it's a lot. He also said that the responsibility is not to the party, but to the country. He says that, but we'll see. Will he actually be in there trying to serve the interests of just the party?
Girl, they're going to be serving their own interests. That's what it sounds like to me. It's so confusing, and it really just sounds like a lot of the same. Know, from the outside looking in. So I don't really know how hopeful I am that we're going to see real change.
Well, you're not the only one that's saying that, right? How much gridlock are we going to see? I will say his speech was in sharp contrast to the new minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries. And when he opened up, he quoted Galatians 6:9, and it gave me hope. And he said, it says, let us not grow weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart. And that's kind of a message to America. And he also said, and in that also says, we have the opportunity, let us do good to all. His speech to me was so iconic. Many are calling it the A to Z speech, where he ran down a litany of what this country needs to be focused on. Because he says we've come to a fork in the road. Will we choose American values over autocracy, benevolence over bigotry? And I love this, Constitution over cult. And so America, the list goes on and on.
Well, I mean, I heard the question asked, can America sustain itself?
Great question. And it's one that this country has to figure out at this moment. So I'll end with this. I've been reading rereading Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., published in 1967, shortly before his assassination. And it's him going back over and looking at the civil rights movement and then looking at next steps and how America needs to govern itself when it comes to issues of poverty, racism, and militarism, right where we are right now, written right in the aftermath of the Civil Rights Act of 64 and the Voting Rights Act of 65. And in it, here are just a couple of quotes that I want to say. He says, "We can no longer afford to worship the god of hate or bow before the altar of retaliation. The oceans of history are made turbulent by the ever-rising tides of hate. History is cluttered with the wreckage of nations and individuals." That's what Jeffries was laying out. We have to choose chaos or community, justice over judicial overreach, liberty over limitation, people over politics.
I'm glad you mentioned this. MLK Day is next Monday.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, so this is a good time to reread about his life achievements and to continue to celebrate his life. So.
Exactly. And when we do that, also look, examine the struggle, the fight, and look at the persistence. I know oftentimes you and I talk about how, when is it going to end? What is next? But this is a long haul, and we're still in the same fight that King was fighting.
Yeah, and I don't see an end in sight, but I digress. What does the president have on the schedule for MLK?
So we know that on Sunday, January the 15th, he's going to be traveling to Atlanta, Georgia. He's going to deliver remarks at the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church. Okay. And so I'm curious to hear what he will be saying to the nation as we go through this.
Yeah. Oh, well, Ebony, as usual, it's always a treat to have you in. If my live squad wants to connect with you, where can we find you on social?
Across social media at Ebony McMorris. Also follow me across social media at AURN Online. And don't forget, every Friday at 10 a.m. on Instagram at AURN Online, we are continuing with Business for the Culture.
All right. Ebony, thank you so much. And until next week, continue to keep us in the know.
All right. Y'all continue having a good year.